Welcome, guys, to first joint podcast between Footy Fantasy and the Daily Manc. Me, I'm here, your regular host, Chukky from the Daily Manc, coming on as always. And we have Dayo, one of our biggest encyclopedia for soccer. Bayern fan also. Today will be a throwback type podcast, evergreen episode where we'll just talk about general football topics from the past, like a blast from the past. We go through favorites, underrated player from any of the rivals, opposing team, from any team, but it mustn't be the team you support. The best tactician manager of the UCL era, obviously 92 to date, and most entertaining team of all time, club or country. We'll start with Chukky. What's your favorite underrated player ever from any other rival team?
Oh, is it ever? I thought you was talking
No,
about currently.
oh, it doesn't matter. You use currently, but just ever currently.
Okay, so at least I thought it was good. Currently, I would say I have two players in mind. I think I'll just choose between one of them, I guess. I really like Son from Tottenham. You know, you're not going to see him in so many uh, news headlines, apart from when he's playing for his country or when he's doing great things in Champions League or, helping Tottenham get out of out of the lurch. The other player I really like that's underrated is Bobby at Liverpool, Firmino. Um, Let me go with Firmino. He doesn't have the same kind of pull that the Salah and Mane are getting recently. I don't even know why, because this is ridiculous. This is so like 20 years ago. He's the Brazilian, right? The Brazilian always gets the headline.
Correct.
But it just shows you where we are as far as national teams and the strength of national teams and how we've eclipsed the old powers that are fading, like Germany and Brazil and England for sure. So Firmino in that Liverpool side to me is what makes that team really tick. He makes the front three tick. He's he's the ligament in that front three that brings a calm and football intelligence that you probably don't see in a Mane, you probably don't see in a Salah, especially the more recently very selfish Salah. Um, Firmino is a player that let me bring my team into it. Firmino is a player that Manchester United like to think Rashford is, like the complete front player that can play across all the three positions in the front three and even right behind the striker, like in the hole or even the number 10. He's the quintessential he's archetypal new modern player, right? That we think Rashford might be, maybe a great. Um, he doesn't rely on any big thing like speed, like the Rashfords and Mbappe's. He doesn't rely on just his dribbling skills, which is he's a very savvy player when it comes to technically dribbling people. He's just a wonderful player. He plays with a smile, maybe too bright of a smile, some say. So that's my player for Liverpool.
Okay, yeah.
Being a rival of United.
Yeah, that's a good shout. Mr. Dayo.
Okay. Well, I would say from Real Madrid, um, the underrated player I would say was probably Xabi Alonso. Um, and before I go, I would like to say probably the number 4 position is usually underrated in most teams because people don't tend to see what they do. But when you're playing, the 4 are usually the ones that break the play and before it gets to the central defense. So if your 4 is strong, all your central defenders are doing is mopping up loose balls and just clearing it out, and also going forward. Because if you look at the Leicester team that won the Premier League, Kante, okay, people were talking a lot about the Mahrez and the Vardis. A lot of people overlook Kante until somehow people just started looking at who's this black guy that can't stop running. That was when they started the stuff about Kante covers 90% of the world or
90% of the world. And the
yeah,
rest is
and
covered by water.
yeah, and the rest is covered by water. So now, if you look at Liverpool too, this current Liverpool, you see that maybe a lot of talk is made about Van Dijk and about the front three. People don't talk a lot about Fabinho, what he does. when it was Barcelona, people don't talk a lot as much as about Busquets than about the other people. And even if you go to the current Real Madrid, the 3 Champions League winning Real Madrid, everybody, we spoke about everybody else, how great they are, Ramos, Ronaldo, and everybody, but everybody just seemed to forget Casemiro because before Zidane took over, that was a major tactical change that Zidane did. He brought Casemiro. Ancelotti that time was trying to play Ames, Modric, and Cruz in midfield, but it wasn't working because someone needed to be there to break the attack down. And that was when they brought in Casemiro and dropped Ames Rodriguez. And that was when they won the 3 Champions Leagues. And, he does a lot of dirty work. He's the one to get the niggling foul, to break up a play, to get in people's faces. So I think the number 4 position generally is underrated. And the most underrated player I will say from a rival was Xavi Alonso.
Okay, okay, that's a good shout. For me, I won't really call them a rival because I mean, anytime we play Arsenal, we smash them every time. We just smash them. even when we are terrible, when in our terrible state, we just smash Arsenal. Like we don't think about it. We
Yeah.
always get it. We
Welcome to the dance floor.
we get a W against them, no matter how terrible we are. For me, the player that was underrated for them, I think, was Cazorla, Santi. Oh man, that guy was the player. It's probably my favorite, maybe besides Henry. Obviously, Henry was never overrated. Was Santi Cazorla. Santi was the type of skill set he had. We kept. In fact, I remember calling him the clock that keeps the engine. He's the engine behind the Arsenal team. The days the time he was there, he was neat, skillful dribbler. He could pick a pass from an eye of a needle. He could tackle. He could close control. He used to manage that midfield and like literally take over games. So my choice is Santi Cazorla.
I could never get over how small that player is. It's like every
Correct.
time I look at him, he's just so distractingly small.
And he has kind of come back again. He's playing well for Villarreal in La Liga. He's come back and he's doing.
Well, he's in the right. He went back to the right league. I don't think he comes back in the EPL. That's just my opinion.
After those injuries, I agree. There's no way. There's no way we cope with the pace. The pace of the EPL has almost doubled from like 10, 7, 8 years ago. It's ridiculous.
He's probably going to Italy after that. So we can project the trajectory of his career just based on the kind of player. Probably Juventus or Inter.
Correct. They buy him on the cheap for free.
Free transfer.
That's their model. Okay, Chukky, who's your best tactician of the UCL era? The key word is tactician. I didn't say manager.
Yeah.
Tactician, tactics. Who is your best tactician?
Yeah.
Era.
I thought about this, and I know these questions are questions I'm loath to answer because I hate all the answers. But okay. To me, it has to be Mr. Guardiola, right? Because of how intensive of an impact he made during that era. I don't think he created anything new. I'm not foaming at the mouth of tiki taka. What I would say is he sharpened and polished it and modernized it, made it almost like an unbeatable force during this period till at least Gengen Press and start taking the fore. Then the power of tiki taka starts receding after that. But Guardiola, just the way he made that Barcelona side play, not just triangles. It's most like I would say instead of triangles, think about it as an origami structure, right? Where every time you look, it's shifting triangles, like a dynamic sea of triangles moving, and they're just constantly moving, especially from back to front. Then he kind of releases the team when they come in the final third, and he helped. He had a lot of magicians on his team. Let's be frank. The Xavis, the Nestas, the Messis, and those 3 names should strike terror into anyone's heart when you think about the kind of art they can produce on the dime. For me, just tactically, it was just so hard to beat. It was so hard to beat when it came when it came on board. I remember Alex Ferguson probably aged 20 years just looking at Guardiola's system, right? And start plotting his retirement right after that. It's a system that would really just elicit just a white flag of surrender when you see it. it's good for Spain. Spain kind of adopted it. They went into the like a semi. I don't know. I don't know. Dominance. I think it didn't last too long. Maybe not as eye popping as the Barca side, but just a coach like Guardiola bring that system where you have a national team stealing and people's just stealing that style. I think Dayo, maybe you correct me if I'm wrong. I think you'd say that you can probably look at what's his name? Oh, that quick, I've already forgotten. The guy in Barcelona that brought the total football there, the Dutch guy.
Johan Cruyff.
John Cruyff. You could probably look at him and the Dutch teams and Dutch system for the predecessors of that play. But Guardiola, man, he made it so attractive. It was so attractive at club play. And Barcelona just seemed very, very unstoppable at that time, especially in the UCL. I remember them playing against United. It was just an unfair fight. You're talking about blood and thunder, blah blah blah, against this very dynamic, intrinsic, very delicate, very artistic play. We couldn't just touch them. You couldn't get the ball off of them.
Yep.
I mean, you fall asleep watching the ball whiz from triangle to triangle to triangle, and I just can't think about a more dominant manager at that time than Guardiola.
Okay. Dayo, who is your best tactician of the UCL era, of the Champions League era?
I would have loved to agree with Chukky because of Guardiola. Guardiola is my man. But
we can see how you're blushing.
Yeah,
blushing.
we thought
I'm like, man, Dayo.
we thought the accolades he has given to Guardiola. I don't think even. Yeah, one thing I would say, like when Guardiola started, he started with 4-3-3. Then later, he sometime in Barcelona, he saw that Daniel Alves. He moved Daniel Alves up front, and he was playing almost like a 3-3-4 or like a 3-4-3. Daniel Alves like a winger. Later he changed it, but right now he has settled back to his 4-3-3. But where I would differ is I would say people like Guardiola and Klopp, in my opinion, they are system managers. They coach a system that they coach the team into a system, a pattern of football that they retain every day. If Guardiola is playing Barcelona, he will probably play style. If he's playing Dortmund, he'll play style. If he's playing anybody, he will just play that style to dominate the ball. And he brought a lot of innovations into the game. He brought all these fullbacks tucking in. Like sometimes you will see when Man City is playing, Zinchenko and Walker will be like their defensive midfield.
Right.
It will bring when your fullbacks tucking, your wingers go wide, and vice versa. When your wingers come in, your fullbacks go wide. But I would like to say that my best tactician of this UCL era, a controversial choice, is Rafa Benitez.
Ooh,
interesting.
Yeah, Rafa Benitez. Yeah, because I followed his team, Valencia, in 2004, and I saw what he did to that team, and they won the La Liga that year. They won the Europa Cup that year, and the following year went to Liverpool and won the Champions League. One thing I want to credit Rafa Benitez is if you have one game, just one game, go and disrupt things, go and do the unthinkable. He'll probably bring it out because I've seen him do it several times. At the peak of Barcelona, Ronaldinho, Rafa Benitez took a team of who's this guy that plays golf? Craig Bellamy, Momo Sissoko. Craig Bellamy, Mamadou Sissoko, and they beat Barcelona at Nou Camp.
Right.
He took Steve Finnan, Jimmy Traore. Look at the team Liverpool won the Champions League with in 2005.
I agree.
They will not finish in that league. They will not. That team, Steve Finnan. If anybody tells you Steve Finnan ever won anything in football, or Jimmy Traore, their lineup is Steve Finnan, Jimmy Traore.
I think they came fifth that year. They came fifth in the league that year.
Look at that team. Jesse Dudek was the keeper. Steve Finnan, Jimmy Traore, Sami Ipia, Jamie Carragher, Igor Biscan, Smicer, Milan Baros. Everybody just looked like a Crystal Palace level player. And they won the Champions League. They didn't win it through the easy route. They beat Juventus on the way. They beat Chelsea with Mourinho on the way, and they beat AC Milan on the way. And you know what he did? The following 2 years later, he got to the final again, playing Jamin Pennant as a wing back, as a right winger. Benitez has the ability to take the most ordinary set of players and just turn something out of them. Like if you look at that team that got to the final in 2007, which I believe they could have won. Peter Crouch was his starting striker.
Yeah.
Peter Crouch, this Dutch guy that will never stop running.
Correct.
But Jamin Pennant. Who is Jamin Pennant? How is Jamin Pennant even a footballer to be reckoned with? Most of them will leave Liverpool and they won't even get a shirt in West Brom. And he managed to get these two guys 2 years into the Champions League final, beating many people. He was one of the people that made Mourinho not to win the Champions League in Chelsea because he beat him twice in the semi-final.
Correct. Back to back.
But he won in 2005, won in 2007.
And 7, okay. It was separate.
Yeah. So the guy.
That's a great shout. That's a unique great shout, Dayo. That's a great shout.
When I looked at his Valencia team, the team that won the La Liga that year was Canizares, Roberto Ayala, Carlos Machena, David Albeda, Ruben Baraja, Pablo Jaima, Angulo. All these are kind of like there's no big star amongst them, but he just manages to carve a system out. And you know the funny thing, the following year they handed that into Ranieri and he destroyed it. They finished like 9th or 10th.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I say Rafa Benitez, though he made some wrong managerial decisions, going after trying to go. He went to Inter Milan after Mourinho. He went to Real Madrid when the storm was heavy. But you know, I still respect what he did.
As a tactician, okay. I want to say something.
I think the core reason why you chose Benitez, I think, you know, during that same era, I would think about an manager that probably did the same kind of thing and did it more than once. That's Ferguson. Thomas Kuszczak, I can't even pronounce his name properly. Thomas Kuszczak is not going to go keep anywhere in the world that matters. He was on the bench for United. John O'Shea, when he leaves United, you know, he's not going anywhere. Except like Blackburn or, you know.
Actually went to West Brom or something.
Like West Brom like that. I mean, he was on the bench. West Brom started.
Yeah, West Brom.
You know.
Yes, Park.
He had that Brazilian that was really not a Brazilian. He was probably from,
Anderson.
you know, from Uruguay or somewhere like that.
Anderson
was there.
Yes.
Darren Fletcher, the Scottish.
Yes, Park.
Fletcher is that's the quiz. Fletcher is the Scottish what? The Scottish. I mean,
Darren Gibson.
Yeah, Gibson. So I like Benitez as a coach. I think he takes flack. I love that he made fun of him with the waiter stuff. I mean, you know, he brought so much richness to the EPL. So I love that manager. I think Newcastle was stupid to let him go. That's just idiotic. You can't get a manager of that quality that wants to stay with a team like Newcastle. I mean, who wants to stay with Newcastle?
My own quick pick is actually my pick is Carlo Ancelotti.
Ancelotti, okay,
that's my pick. Just because of his ability to be able to adjust with teams. Ancelotti has been that guy who knows how to adjust when he has the right. Usually, when he has the right team. In the years that he has won with Milan in 2003 and 07 and Madrid in 2014.
Is Ancelotti a tactician though?
I think he is. I think he is. I think he's a very good tactician. His ability to adjust to games. So the difference, in my opinion, of tacticians and manager is that managers are very, very good. Great managers are good at people that can build teams long term for like league titles consistently, like the Peps, the Fergusons, Mourinho at some point. You know, Klopp.
Name one team that Ancelotti's managed that wasn't as like a superstar team or something like that. I think about Ancelotti as the first Pep Guardiola, right? It was like the very first one. It's like the guy that's always on the big team.
Correct. But it's because of his ability to get. I think Ancelotti is because of his ability to maximize to the fullest potential, right?
I'm sure his agent. He has a really good agent, I think.
No, I mean to maximize to the fullest potential players that he plays with and he uses, and his ability to adjust to a team while at the same time not getting rid so much of his own tactics. I saw him do that a lot with Milan. I remember the year we played Milan in 2007, right?
Yeah.
2007 when they won the league with Kaká. And I say this because when the first leg, even though that game was back and forth, 1-3-2, it felt like we had the momentum. I know Chukky, you probably remember this game. When we
I
went to
remember the game
Milan,
too.
that semi-final, when we went to Milan for that second leg, the adjustments he made in that midfield, I didn't believe it was the same thing we played in the first leg.
Okay, but where I would disagree with that is that game in 2007, I would say Man U was the underdog. It was just Ronaldo and Rooney.
Correct.
That Milan was an all-star team.
Yeah, I agree.
Fellows,
a heritage team, a legacy team.
Yeah, like
I agree, but there's one thing he did in that time that I remember.
That's the team you pick when you play FIFA, whatever.
Yeah. It was his Christmas tree formation.
And the thing is, okay, that greatest choke of 2005, that when Benitez won the Champions League, was on Ancelotti.
Yeah,
Ancelotti was the manager who lost a 3-goal lead in the final.
In the final, I know, I get that. I am just saying, I've seen him adjust to gain so many Champions League ties, where against super teams, right, or considerable big teams, so many times, and come out on top more often than I've seen other managers. I've seen him do it a lot of times.
I think Carlos Ancelotti's, I think he's a great manager.
I think he's a good tactician. I don't think he's a good manager, actually.
So here's when I think about tactics, like, what is his signature legacy tactics that he's a great tactician? I mean,
he's known for the Christmas tree formation.
Yeah, I think Ancelotti is just
a place.
He created it. I don't think he created
it's good at
making. He didn't create it, but he made it.
He made it popular in Italy.
Yes,
for sure.
Correct. He says it's good at making what?
Making players happy. That's all I think he's good for. Like he's not gonna impose a system on them. He's gonna give
that
them
all day.
Yeah, like what Solskjaer was doing it to me.
Anyways,
because Ancelotti has won how many league titles in his career? Maybe 4.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said that's why I said I don't think he's a great manager, because great managers know how to build teams long term to win league titles, to go through the whole phase of beginning of season, injuries. But when it's come for cup runs,
actually, it's a top manager. I'll just poke him because I don't know. Like when you go to sleep, Ancelotti doesn't just like jump out to me. So maybe yes, because he's.
So when I mean best managers, obviously it will not be the Pep, the clubs. For instance, these are the best managers. I'm talking of tactician to adjust. I go back to that game. I like going back to that game because I remember the way first leg, even though it was like back and forth.
Yeah.
I thought second leg, the only person we had to worry about was Kaká. That second leg, this guy changed that game where he brought Ambrosini into that midfield. It felt like Manchester United had no midfield in that second leg. I remember that we had no midfield. Ambrosini and Gattuso were just
Who were the players in your midfield that day?
Paul Scholes, Carrick. Like it felt like we had no midfield.
That's fair. That's why you felt we didn't really have two, and that's what Fergie used to go for. He just two players in the midfield. That's all you got. Everybody else played wing.
That was the end of 4-4-2. That game was when he ended that 4-4-2 thing that used to do 2 wingers and just 2 midfielders. Because that game, Ambrosini just swallowed our midfield, and we felt like we had no midfield.
Gattuso just sat on Ronaldo and was just knocked them out of the game.
Correct. So I think with the final question, who is your most entertaining team ever, Chukky?
Ever?
Yes. Okay. National, club, doesn't matter. Just entertaining. Doesn't have to be so successful. Just entertain you.
Okay, so for entertaining, I don't know if you caught a clue yet. But for me, entertaining teams are teams when I go to sleep that the highlights play in my head.
Okay.
And they're just so iconic. And again, this is restricted to my lifetime, obviously. I'm not going to be, this is what I watched with myself, not like I was watching some kind of documentary or whatever. The 1994 Super Eagles. Look, here's the thing.
Good shot.
Here's the thing. They played that World Cup in a country that hadn't taken to soccer or football, whatever you want to call it, right? in 1994. They had the infrastructure, they had the media, they had the media infrastructure, they had the civil or the actual physical infrastructure to hold that tournament there. Do you know how many people that Nigerian team woke up to soccer? Like literally said, here's how to play the game. It's not over tactical. You're going to love all the crap we do on the field. I remember Benny Roja's goal against Bulgaria. If that doesn't make you stand up and say, what the heck is going on? That goal, to me, I mean, till now, I remember Amokachi dancing in the middle of the field after beating, like 4 or 5 players, right? Maybe it was 3 players, who knows?
Was that Greece? I think that was against Greece.
That was against Greece. I remember even the games they lost were so gripping. Argentina, Italy. I mean, those great. I mean, you're always at the edge of the seat and say, what are these guys going to do next, right? And in that team, there were so many different types of players. Like Brazilian, everybody was Romario and Bebeto. Argentina, everybody was kind of wanted to be a Maradona. Yeah. In Nigeria, you have Yakini. What kind of player is Yakini? He's a guy that doesn't know anything but to score a goal. Yeah. Right? I mean, that's that guy. Amokachi, what kind of player is he? He could dribble. He could mow you down. Right?
He was strong. He was strong. Yep.
What kind of player is Olise? Well, Olise in that team, I think it was.
Yeah, it was.
Olise was that team. Okocha, different type of player. Right? I mean, I don't see. I mean, the way they dress, the uniform, that team was too much, man. I mean, as far as entertaining, I'm not saying they were the best team. I'm saying they were so entertaining to watch. Okay. I go for Nigeria. That's why I got the jersey on today.
Right? Nice.
Who else was there? The Paybas were there. The Siasias were there. Sorry about the band, but you don't do the crime if you can't do the time, kind of thing. Finidi George.
Yeah.
Come on. I mean, Uche Okechukwu.
Taribo West. Taribo there?
No, Taribo wasn't there.
No, he wasn't there. It was Stephen Keshi.
It was 96.
Stephen Keshi, yes.
One of my best backs ever, Iroha, was there. Everyone was there.
He had Italian blood.
And Nigeria had probably the worst goalkeeper in tournament in Peter Rufai. So you never knew what he was going to do. Adepoju, Joe Capo. I mean, Obonovare, which I don't. Which did he get a game?
No, he did not.
Get off for Rufai?
I don't think so. Rufai.
Yeah.
So
anyway, I think Amunike. There's so many players out there that they were just so entertaining. Yeah. So Nigerian national team, 1994. Another team I would like is also Nigerian team. Is the team that won Atlanta 96, I believe. Yeah, I love that team as far as entertainment, beating Mexico, Argentina, Brazil. You know the drill. The Japan game wasn't that easy, but they won. So and they won these games in a very electric fashion, right? The Nigerian team in '94 takes it for me.
Okay, Dayo.
Well, I didn't even think of Nigeria, but I agree with him because that was the first time Nigeria was going to the World Cup, and we all had expectations. Yep. We came with our own brand of football. Like we're not like defensive like the Italians or attacking like the Brazilians. We're just doing our own freestyling, basically. Just Eguavoin. Our starting 11: Eguavoin, Iroha got injured, and Emenalo came in. Chidi Nwanu and Uche Okechukwu. Then and our 4 was Olise. We're playing 4-4-2. Olise, Finidi, Amunike, Amokachi, then Siasi and Yakini. The first game, it could have gone different. We had high hopes being Nigerians, but the whole world was like, okay, Stoikov was Ballon d'Or 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It was gonna blow us out. They had Kasimir Balakov, Yordan Lechkov,
Lechkov.
Lechkov.
This guy remembers their names. Dayo is impossible, man. This guy remembers their names.
So they had those guys, and everybody, Europeans, if you're following European football, you would think, okay, these guys are better than who are in Nigeria. Most of our guys were playing in Belgian league.
Yeah.
or Bruges, or even maybe second division. Yekini was playing in Portugal, so we were not there in like among the elites of European football. But they had Balakov. Balakov was in Stuttgart. Kostadinov, Ivanov, all those guys were. So we just stunned them. They didn't know what was happening. Though we got lucky with the striker free kick, which I think should have stood because it was given an indirect free kick. He took it. It should maybe there should have been 2 touches on the free kick before he entered, but he took it one time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they didn't just know what hit them after that. Amokachi and Amunike's flying header.
Is that your choice? Is Nigerian national team your choice?
My choice would be. I didn't think of that, but I think that's a good shout. But my choice would be Czech Republic team of Euro 2004. They did not win the cup.
Okay.
They lost in the semi-final. Boboski, Nedved,
okay.
Baros. On 2, they were at Galasek. 3, they had Jankulovski. Their keeper was Peter Cech. They had Thomas Uchfalusi, and I think Gregera was pairing in central. They had Galasek. So
Chukky, is it just me that amazed that this guy is giving Czech national team for
those guys?
I need my brain cells for other things.
So the way they were playing, and they had this guy Jankola and this guy in front.
Yeah.
Jankola, the 6'9" guy, and Milan Baros. They didn't even care about. They were just going for it all the time. Everybody thought they were the team of the tournament. They dusted the Dutch. They just lost to a Greek header out of nowhere, 90-something minute. Trianos Dellas just headed a corner, and that was it. And
who beat them, though?
Greece.
Who beat them? Oh, Greece. I thought it was Germany that beat them. It was Greece that beat them.
Germany was pants. That's it. That year, they couldn't even. Germany didn't even get out of the groups. They.
Oh, 2004. Greece won 2004. That's true. That was the year Greece turned the world. Okay, I remember. I remember specifically because after that tournament, that's when Manchester United bought and Chukky was. That's when we got Boboski.
Yeah.
Another shout would have been the Portuguese team of Euro 2000 that had Figo, Ricosta.
Oh wait, I take that back. Sorry, Boboski was way earlier. Boboski was 96. Euro 96.
Yeah, Boboski he had. Yeah, but he had his flank around that time too. He had he was part of the team, but he wasn't a key member of the team in 2004.
But he had that
but it wasn't it was. I think that was the first tournament. Yeah. So another shout would have been Portuguese team of 2000, but they didn't win also. Figo, Costa, they had some Sapinto, Joapinto, and everybody. Yeah.
My own choice is actually very, very simple. It's a very popular choice because that's why I am Brazil national team of 2002.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, of course.
That team, my goodness. And maybe not as a team, but individually, they had too many players I liked so much. Ronaldinho was peak Ronaldinho. R9 was kind of ending, but that was tournament he re-announced himself to the world. Like, okay, just in case you guys are forgetting
about it.
Even though I've been injury prone, I can still be best player in the tournament. Then there was Rivaldo. There was Ronaldinho, Rivaldo. There was Ronaldo.
Cafu, Roberto.
Kaká was like Kaká didn't really have such a great tournament, but he was there. Cafu was still there. I mean, that Brazilian national team, it was just pure football to watch, just pure skill, talent. Ronaldinho in the World Cup, a game that matters, and he tries a free kick over David Seaman. Like just the guts of that team, it feels like you're watching beach basketball with those guys. Ronaldinho alone by himself was pure entertainment to me. So that team of 2002 and the Ronaldinho Barcelona team, just what he could do with it. Ronaldinho was the one guy that dribbles you before the ball even gets to you. He's done one body movement, like defenders are just falling, like they're parting like the Red Sea. I'm just like, who is this guy? This guy, I saw Ronaldinho destroy Nesta, destroy Gattuso, destroy John Terry. I'm like, who are you? So I think carriers of like world best defenders in the world. So for me, that Brazil national team for sure, 2002. Ronaldo, it's step over goals every time. Once Ronaldo goes one-on-one with the keeper, it's like just forget about it. That was the only striker one-on-one then. He's like, let's just forget about it. Like it was after Ronaldo retired that I said, oh wait, strikers actually can miss one-on-one. Before that, I used to think once you get one-on-one, you should score. I mean, you should score. But after he retired, I'm like, oh wait, strikers can miss one-on-one. I'm like, oh shit, this guy missed it. That's when that made me understand like Ronaldo was a different species entirely. Every other person just came after him. Every other video of strikers came after that guy. That guy's a different species, in my opinion. Probably that's my most entertaining.
When you mentioned Poboski, it reminds me of that United town. That, to me, one of the most entertaining like club teams from during when Poboski was still at United. When they still used to wear that two-tone colored shirt. Cantona was still in the team at that time. United just used to play. 1997. The football there was very easy on the eyes. That's when I really, really fell in love with David Beckham. Just the way he used to zip balls around. Scores obviously through a master pass. So I think that team was very entertaining as well, just because of the way they played. Just like blood and thunder, they're just always on the go, attack.
And that's why they never won Champions League. Those teams never won Champions League.
Those teams never.
They'll get to semi-final. They'll play the German team who are efficient. Dortmund will knock us out. Porto will knock us out. We'll beat the efficient team that will just defend and hit us on the break.
I love that team because they solidified my love for the United. I always liked United before then, but they solidified it, like kind of cemented it, like, okay, just because of the way they played. I know it was more like, again, it wasn't championship football because, you have to really focus on defense, your transitions from the midfield, blah, blah, blah. They weren't great at that. They were just great at, we will try to score as much goals as possible till they blow the whistle, whenever that is, right, for any time.
That's true.
I love that. That's good shouts. I love all the teams you guys said. They're very, just thinking about them, they're very, very good team. They're iconic teams. Actually, you can actually feel and remember if you were there when what they were doing at that time. How you felt about the team. Very good.
Yep. This has been good. We've come to the end of our first joint podcast. If you're watching this, follow us social media. Check out the Daily Manc. The podcast will be on both platforms. When it gets uploaded. This was fun. Chukky, as always.
Had a fantastic time with you guys. Let's do it again.
Yeah. Dayo, as always. Thanks for coming. Hey, and good luck to Bayern.